Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Sunday, bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Let's jump into our study group for warriors, for my hardcore heads. Let's just go through my notes. I think I have a couple new subscribers to the channel, and that's what we do on Sunday. I just go through my notes and give you guys something a little extra to think about, something to ponder on your journey. So let's talk a little bit about maturity. Short-term, self-centered whims don't allow you to exist in the real world. That's the outlook of a 2-year-old. And 2-year-olds can't have friends. They don't have friends. They could play next to somebody, but they can't really have friends. They don't have meaningful relationships. Because they're too selfish, too self-centered, too focused on their little whims. Let's move forward. Let's talk about power. Some people want to be powerful. But you want to ask yourself why. Why do you want to have power? Why have power? What's the point of it? What's the point of being powerful? You want to be powerful, why? Is it to be a hedonist? So you can satisfy all your pleasures. That's why you want power, to fill all your desires? Do you want power to be dominant over others? So you can be the boss. So you can be the king. Do you want to be a tyrant? Do you want power so you can create a tyranny? A bunch of rules and go and bop people on their heads for not following your way so you can be God? Do you want to be a bully? Are you trying to be God? Do you want to be powerful to pretend to be God? Let's go to the next one. This is a rule everybody knows, but everybody forgets. I know I do. Just because they're friendly doesn't mean they're your friend. Smiles, hugs, fist bumps. Hey, big dog, what's up? How you doing, big dog? None of that's friendship. Simply because you know them doesn't mean shit. You'll find out who your friends are when the shit hits the fan, when you're down. Not that you go desperately seeking help, because some people are pretty independent and they don't go seeking help, but a friend will notice. Some people don't even notice. How many times have you gone through really hard shit in your life, and people on your social media, people in your life, even your family, they don't even notice, nor do they care. A friend would notice, and a friend would care. So don't get punch drunk off of fist bumps and bro talk. Let's talk about managing ourselves socially. So you can't make everything about you. Stop talking about yourself so much. Not everything is about you. You want to be honest. Only speak the truth. Only promote honesty. You don't want to engage in any kind of power-based maneuvering. Stop playing this social hierarchy game where you think you're alpha, you think you're a leader. People tell me, oh, I'm just a natural leader in any group that I go into. Are you, or are you just some loudmouth who tries to control the room, tries to dominate the conversation and make everything all about you all the time? And you think that's leadership. That's why you don't have any real friends. You want to build others up. Don't bring people down. You build them up. You think your honesty, I'm just so honest that I have to tell people how fucked up they are. That's not always the best thing to do. And you can help people without bringing them down. You could build somebody up in a weak area without insulting them or belittling them or making it seem like all you're doing is just dumping on them. Because a lot of times people don't really know what to do or where to go or how to become a better person. And so you may be smart enough to identify somebody's flaw, but all that does is you're just hitting people on the head with hammers. You're not really pulling nails out. Be generous. Listen more, we said that. And sacrifice your want and your needs to the greater good. Here's the next one. Alcohol is poison. And there's no safe or healthy amount to consume. That one beer you had last night, that's not healthy. That's not safe. It's poison. You can do what you want. Drink poison if you want. You say, Sky, I like it. Fine, drink it. I don't care what you do. But as a health tip from an older man who lives a healthy life, there is no safe amount of alcohol. Stop self-medicating with alcohol. There's other things to self-medicate. You can't get a medical alcohol card like medical marijuana, and there's a reason for it. Because alcohol is not medicine. So stop using it that way. This is important to know socially, or even at work, or in a lot of places, even if you're just walking down the street. Some who cry victim are actually monsters, and you shouldn't help them or clutch them to your breast. Psychopaths use a victimhood status in order to get what they want. Leave you a little colorful feather for you to be attracted to, and when you get close enough, they eat you alive. Let's talk about the fall of man, the fall of Adam. What was Adam's sin? What did Adam do that was so bad? Why did Adam and Eve get kicked out of the Garden of Eden? Why did God get angry? Because Adam lost his role as a man. He tried to impress Eve. She came up with some harebrained, stupid idea. And instead of putting her in her place and showing her the rules and telling her what's happening, this is how we get down here, and you're not going to do that because I say that you're not, I want to allow it. He went along with it. The fall of man is when man turns into a simp, right? I don't know. Let's go to the next one. Here's a quote by John Wayne. I used to love the old cowboy movies. I think I watched all of them. Life's hard. It's even harder if you're stupid. You know, the funny thing is you have all the knowledge in the world sitting in your hand. I Googled something for a guy the other day. We were talking about something. Neither of us knew the answer, so I picked up my phone and Googled it. And then he thanked me. And I'm like, man, you got a cell phone too. If you're looking for a goal, but you don't know what to aim for, pick God as the ultimate aim. The worship of God, not the intent to replace him. If you're looking for an aim, follow the spirit that beckons you. As long as it's not an evil spirit, follow the good spirit that beckons you. And what should you aim for? What should your goal be? Well, you should follow your calling. What is it that you keep thinking about? You've been thinking about it for years, and you've been denying this. Oh, you keep telling yourself that's not realistic, that's silly. You're going to think about this until you die. You better go do it. Why did I move to Florida and start a motorcycle shop? Because it was my calling. I had to do this, or else I would have tortured myself thinking about it, crying about it. I had to drop everything and follow my calling. And what should you aim for? Well, it's good to come up with a lofty, large aim that maybe you'll never be able to reach. And you engage in this life goal, this very meaningful purpose of climbing this never-ending spiral ladder up towards your ultimate goal. And that's not a bad way to spend your life. Let's move forward. Are you engaged in any kind of self-inflicted pain and suffering? Where your lifestyle is causing you pain and suffering, physically or mentally? So you want to ponder some of your beliefs, some of your actions, some of the ways that you are. And ponder this stuff until you can own it fully, promote it and preach it, or debunk it and get rid of it. Be willing to debunk some of your biggest beliefs. That's hard to do. Some people avoid that like the plague. And they're so firm and well researched in one side of the story. But they've never really dived into the criticism of it. And this will solidify who you are. Here's a statement. You can ponder this a little bit. I wrote this down not really understanding it. You can't blame your resentment on your suffering. You can't blame your resentment on your suffering. Seems like you could. Why are you so resentful? Because my life sucks. I'm suffering, and I'm pissed off about it. Seems like that's the way it works. But you can't blame your resentment on your suffering. And I'm not sure if I have an answer for that. We'd have to think about that for a little bit. Because there's more to your suffering than meets the eye. You really have to dive into the purpose of your suffering, the outcomes that your suffering is creating. Because your resentment may be tied to something other than what's going on in your life. And that's a big topic. Maybe we'll end here. Are you inviting the spirit of evil into your life? You might be. There's 3 ways that you can stay on top of this, so you can stay on the righteous path, moving forward towards your goal. But it's your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. It's like a triumvirate. You can imagine a triangle and each point being thought, word, and deed. It's all connected. And if you're not on top of your thoughts, evil will seep in under the door. You have to be constantly vigilant. Get rid of those negative thoughts. You have to be constantly monitoring your speech and the words that you say. Words can sting. Words can be like arrows, like bullets, like bombs. Words can invite evil in. Words can be incantations. Spelling, you can be casting spells. And then finally, your behavior, your deeds, your actions. You are your behavior. You could be saying one thing, but your behavior says who you are. You could act one way, but your deeds tell me just who you are. And your deeds may be inviting in a spirit of evil. Be careful what you do. Be careful how you move. Move with intention and thought. Hope you guys have a good Sunday. Food for thought.